This might be the year the pickleball industry finally solves the grit problem. I've got the new 11SIX24 Vapor Power 2 in my hands, 16 hours of solid playtime, and the paddle face looks brand new. No ball marks, no grit wear, nothing. And this isn't some low grit paddle that's staying pristine because there's nothing there to begin with. This thing measures 8.6 micrometers of surface roughness, putting it in the 98th percentile for grit. It's grittier than almost everything on the market, and it's showing zero signs of degradation. Full disclosure, 11SIX24 sent me this paddle with no expectations. This is not a formal review. It's an early first look at what could be one of the better Gen 4 paddles launching in February 2026. I'll do a full review with complete performance data once I have more time on it, but I wanted to get this in front of you because what I'm seeing is significant. The Power 2 series will retail for $209, and you'll be able to use code MPB for a discount when it launches. That higher price point reflects the materials they're using. This is not a budget build. The Vapor Power 2 is a Gen 4 floating core paddle. I haven't confirmed the exact foam composition with 11SIX24 yet, but based on how it plays and sounds, I'd bet this is the standard EVA around the perimeter with EPP in the center. Bouncing a ball off the face and drilling with it, the feel and sound profile are remarkably similar to the Bread and Butter Loco. I'd also guess that the surface layers have fiberglass in them, so whether it's a CFC or FCC layup, I don't know. Again, that's speculation until I can confirm with 11SIX24. What I can tell you is on contact, there's a solid crack, slightly hollow, but also nothing overly dense either. It sits somewhere between the Loco and Selkirk Boomstick in terms of feel. The Loco and Power 2 share very similar sound profiles, whereas the Boomstick is a touch higher pitched. Compared to the Boomstick, the Power 2 isn't as hollow, there's a touch more density to it, but not an absorbing type of density. And today we're only talking about this hybrid shape. 11SIX24 will offer other shapes at launch, but I'm focusing on what I've been playing. So let's talk about what makes this paddle stand out beyond performance: this surface. For years, paddle companies have promised long-lasting grit. Some delivered, most didn't. But 2026 feels different. We're seeing real innovation in surface durability from a few key players. Spartus with their Permagrit, Selkirk with their Infinigrit, and 6-0 with Diamond Grit. I've been tracking surface roughness across these paddles with the surface roughness tester, and here's what I'm seeing. 6-0 Black Opal measures at 5.37 micrometers. Interestingly, this doesn't feel gritty to the touch. Feels pretty standard, bottom 10%. 6-0 Ruby Pro, 9.53 micrometers, the grittiest paddle I've tested, 100th percentile for grit. USAP and UPA approved. Though I've also heard others not getting paddles this gritty, which raises some consistency questions. Spartus P1 at 7.08 micrometers, 66th percentile for grit. This Vapor Power 2, 8.60 micrometers, 98th percentile for grit. What matters more than the initial number is how that surface grit holds up. After 16 hours of play, the Vapor Power 2 surface looks factory fresh. No ball marks, no visible wear, and I'm posting pictures on Instagram so you can track how this face evolves. But right now, I think it's one of the most promising surface durability innovations we've seen. That micrometers measurement, by the way, refers to surface roughness at the microscopic level. Higher numbers mean more texture, more grip on the ball, more potential for spin generation. I take 5 measurements with the surface roughness tester and then average them out. I'm also working on backfilling the paddles in my database at mattspickleball.com. Okay, so how's it play? The Vapor Power 2 plays awesome stock, but I did add a 6-inch strip of weighted tape, 0.5 grams per inch, starting just below the lower corners and moving up. This raised the swing weight from 107.55 to 109.55, including my overgrip, and it improved stability even more for an already stable paddle. The 6.6 twist weight gives it rock-solid resistance to rotation on off-center hits, and the added weight increased plow-through without making it slow through the zone. There's plenty of room for more weight if you want to add it. I think this one is going to be hot. I'm still working on full power, pop, and spin numbers, but I have this competing directly with the Bread and Butter Loco and Boomstick in terms of raw output. What's interesting is how differently they play, though, despite similar performance metrics. And I really like how this Vapor 2 plays. And if you guys haven't been watching my stuff for a while, when I get excited about something, I share it. It's rare, but this is one of those paddles that I'm genuinely excited about. And I think this one is going to be one to watch, especially since Decobar is playing this model right now. It plays connected, more responsive, more alive at contact. That plush compression I mentioned earlier translates to better feel on touch shots without sacrificing the drive power. Drive power is legit. Those serve speeds are tracking right with the Loco. We're talking top tier power. But where some models with this floating construction felt more one-dimensional to me, the Power 2 gives you legitimate versatility as an offensive weapon, and control is definitely one of them. No, this is not a control paddle per se, but controllability is not lacking either. And spin generation is also a massive strength. That 8.6 micrometer surface combined with the foam's ability to pocket the ball gives you excellent grab. You can shape topspin drips and drives and bring balls down with control. The sound on contact is a solid crack with a slight hollow Gen 4 floating foam core thud. So how's it compared to other 11SIX24 paddles? And for context, Vapor is the name of 11SIX24's hybrid shape. They offer several models in this shape, each with different layups and performance characteristics. I've played their entire lineup, and here's how the Vapor 2 stacks up in terms of feel. All the older paddles are on my website if you want to dive into the full performance data. Again, though, this is a first look, quick comparison. The Vapor Jelly Bean is denser than the Vapor Power 2. It's also softer and has a slightly higher pitch tone off the face. By comparison, the Vapor Power 2 sits on the hollower side. The Vapor All Court has an even higher pitch tone compared to the Vapor Power. It's very poppy. The Vapor Power 2 feels hollower compared to the Vapor All Court. The original Vapor Power, which uses a CFC layup, that's fiberglass sandwiched between two layers of carbon fiber, is way more crisp than the Vapor 2. The original Vapor Power, which uses a CFC layup, that's fiberglass sandwiched between two layers of carbon fiber, is way more crisp than the Vapor Power 2. There's a denser, poppier crispness to it. It also has a higher pitch tone when the ball comes off the face. Again, the Vapor Power 2 is hollower compared to the Vapor Power. Compared to the Vapor Alpha Pro Power, which uses an FCC layup, that's fiberglass touching the core with two layers of carbon fiber on top. It's deeper sounding than the Vapor Power, but not as deep and thuddy as the Vapor Power 2. The pop feels similar between these two. So what this tells you is that the Vapor Power 2 occupies its own space in the 11SIX24 lineup. It's hollower than their other models, with a deeper sound signature and that plusher compression I mentioned earlier. If you played the Jelly Bean or All Court and found them too poppy or crisp, the Power 2 gives you a different feel profile while maintaining serious output. In terms of power output, I think the 11SIX22 Power and Alpha Pro Power series are comparable, but I think the Power 2 dials up the output compared to all of their past models. And it 100% dials up the spin generation. That's coming from the combination of that surface friction and dwell from the Gen 4 core. So here's what I think is happening in 2026. The grit problem is getting solved, hopefully, but not universally. A handful of companies might be close to nailing it, while others are still figuring out, and others, again, aren't doing anything. 11SIX24 appears to be in that first group. If this surface holds up over months of play the way it's holding up through these first 16 hours, it changes the value proposition entirely. You're not just buying performance, you're buying performance that lasts. The $209 price point reflects that. This isn't a budget Gen 4 paddle. The materials matter, the construction matters, and if you're getting 6 to 12 months plus of consistent grit instead of 4 to 6 weeks, the math works out differently. I'll keep posting surface updates on Instagram. I want to see how this evolves over 50 hours, 100 hours, and beyond. But right now, after 16 hours, I'm optimistic in a way I haven't been about surface durability. Another one to watch closely, though, is the Spartus P1 and its permagrit surface. So who should pay attention to this paddle? Power players who want elite output without the unpredictability of ultra-hot foam builds. Players who've been burned by grit degradation and want something that might actually last. And I think anyone looking for a Gen 4 paddle that delivers substance rather than just marketing claims. This isn't maximum forgiveness. Yes, that 107.55 stock swing weight is on the lighter side, which will give you faster hands. And even with my added weight, it's still quick through the zone. Stability is legitimate and the sweet spot is generous enough, I'd say above average. I'm not ready to give you a full buy or pass recommendation yet, but you can kind of see where I'm leaning. I need complete performance data and more time on the paddle first, but as a first look, this is one of the more promising Gen 4 launches I've seen recently, and I think it's one you should add to your watch list. 11.6.24 is targeting a February 2026 launch. I'll have a full review with complete specs, performance metrics, and long-term durability assessment once that happens. For now, keep an eye on the surface evolution updates I'll be posting on Instagram, and watch for my full review when it drops. Use code MPB when it launches if you want to try one, and let me know in the comments what questions you have or what you want me to test in the full review. That's it. That's the first look at the 11.6.24 Vapor Power 2. If this was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for the full review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.